Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and talk about scalps and itching and things along those lines. So ever since I started Shea Bay and, documenting my journey on YouTube about, I only wash my hair maybe every 6 months or once a year, that type of thing. It varies depending on how I feel. And people have been, commenting or emailing and saying things like, my scalp wouldn't last that long, or what about your scalp, and doesn't your head itch, or some people ask me, does it smell, and what's some other things I've been getting? Itching, smelling, dandruff I think is one, but basically it's things along those lines. And so I was asking my husband, because he uses Shea Bay as well, and when he first started, he was washing his hair about every 2 weeks, and it wasn't really a complete wash. It was like he rinsed his hair and his scalp and stuff, and then sometimes he would wash it, but it wasn't like a full out wash every single time that he did it. But he wasn't really having that many scalp issues either. And I was kind of watching my children as well, and I was like, well, they aren't having scalp issues. So I was like, well, what makes people itch? And I started going into my own thoughts, and then I kind of researched and figured out what they said, so to say. So what I found out was that, my first thoughts was like, well, why would you itch? Typically, on your body is what my first thought was, like, why do you itch? So typically on your body, what I notice about me, let me just say that about me, is that I don't really itch unless I put something on my skin that irritates my skin, or I eat something that my body really doesn't agree with, and so it kind of brings it from in to out, and it starts displaying as itching. So, and the only few times that I've had that is with certain laundry detergents like Tide and stuff like that. I didn't use Tide, but my boyfriend, which is now my husband, when we were dating, his mom used Tide, and every time I got on there, anything that they use with Tide, then I would immediately break out into a red rash and start itching. Or use one of his hoodies or something like that he hasn't used for an extended period of time, it's freshly washed, then I would turn red and just itch, because my body was having a reaction to the Tide. So then I was like, well, wouldn't that be the same with our scalp? Because it's still skin, it's just on our head, and most of the time it's covered by hair. And so, like I said, I don't have scalp issues, and I was trying to figure out why everybody else seemed to have, not everybody, but a lot of people seem to have scalp issues. And I'm like, well, I don't have dandruff, my scalp doesn't itch, and it doesn't get excessively dirty to where I need to really wash it every month, every 2 weeks, or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that, different people don't have different things going on in their life. I get that. I'm just saying people are always asking me how do I deal with it? And I'm telling you that I don't have to deal with those issues. And what I found out is there's a few reasons why people itch. One is because of what you put on your scalp, possibly. So maybe some of your shampoos, your conditioners, your creams, the curling custers and things of that nature, pink lotions and stuff like that. I don't want to call it any brand names, but different brands that you could possibly using, and you're thinking that it's working for your hair, but at the same time it's also working against your scalp. Maybe that could be one of the reasons, is what you're putting on your scalp. The other reason is that I saw was because of what you're eating, and it could be I don't know what people's diets are, but it could be maybe you eat chips, and you've been eating chips so long that you don't know that that's why you have dandruff, or that's why your scalp itches, but it's in relation to your diet. So it could be that you eat chips, or that you eat I don't know, maybe pineapples, and your body doesn't like pineapples, and so you're so used to having your scalp how it is that you think, oh, this is just my normal, when in essence it's more, well, you eat pineapples regularly, so your body regularly reacts the same way. right? And then the other thing that I saw was parasites. A lot of times when you itch a lot, it's not something that you're eating or something that you're putting on your hair. It's another thing from within, which is parasites or worms or whatever you want to call it. So you could have worms in your hair. And so I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense, because I mean, it seems like everything has a rhyme or a reason why it does what it does. So that itching was the thing that I figured out. For the things that I listed were for itching. Now, dandruff and things like that is kind of along the same lines, and it could be what you're eating, because what you put in your body is going to come out somewhere on your body. Either it be through your urine, through your poop, or possibly through your scalp. It's the way that your body is trying to get rid of toxins and things that you're putting in that it doesn't want you to have. Again, you may not be able to like put cause and effect type thing, because you've been doing it for so long, so you like, oh, this is just my normal, and your diet is still the same. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. So that could be the issue. So again, it could be your diet. Something that you're eating, possibly bread or yeast, is creating dandruff or yeast on your head. So that could be a reason why you have excessive dandruff, eczema, psoriasis, all of those things. They have a cause and effect, right? So yeah, I think that's all of the information I found out. I may be missing nothing because I didn't write it down in order to do the video. I'm trying to think. So it was, people asked me about dirty scalps or dandruff, the itching, and I think that was it. The other thing I wanted to say too about itching and dandruff as well, something else that could cause it is, you know, I said the other things like what you put on it could also be what you're doing to your hair as well, as far as styling. So if you are using, as I was saying, it could also be styling issues if you're, you know, dandruff or possibly itching, because it could be like if you pull your hair extremely tight, then it may cause your scalp to itch or to create dandruff, or what looks like dandruff, because of, you know, what your the style that you have. So it could be too tight, or, you know, something along those lines. Kind of like if you're doing your hair and you have like this one strand that you missed, and you kind of tug at it or pull it the wrong way, it kind of sends like a sensation through your body, and you kind of have to scratch. So that type of thing. Other than that, I think that pretty much covers like everything. And a good analogy to kind of make a little more sense, or be a little more, I guess, like bring it home, is kind of like when people who have acne, right? They see that it flares up when they eat certain things, kind of like junk food, right? It makes it appear on their face. So then they're like, oh, well, every time I eat this, then my face breaks out. So it could be a similar situation in certain things that you eat. It doesn't appear on your face. It goes to your scalp instead of your face, because everybody's body is going to react different to different things that they're eating. Even if you have a family member and y'all eat the same thing, but they don't break out on their face, but you do. Their body could be reacting a different way. So maybe they get a rash on their arm, or maybe it's dandruff in their hair. It's just you don't really notice it because you think it's normal, right? So I think that's all I have. If you guys have anything that you may want to add, or anything that I could have possibly missed, put it down in the comment section. And again, you don't have to believe anything that I say. If it doesn't make sense, fine. I'm just telling you what I found out, so don't, you know, overdo it, right? And if you don't believe me, like I said, just research it. Not that research is 100% all the time, but it gives you an idea of, you know, what could possibly be going wrong. I also wanted to mention, it could be a lack of putting something in your body. So if your scalp is extremely dry or something like that, it could be a lack of you eating something or drinking something. So you could be missing important minerals and nutrients in your diet. So you can also look at it from that aspect. Kind of like if you don't drink enough water, you may have a dry scalp, because the little bit of liquid or water that you are drinking is going to go to more important organs rather than your hair and your scalp. So it will go to an organ that needs it more before it goes to your hair. So that's why it's also important to make sure you're getting enough water and other important nutrients and minerals into your diet.